Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Legion 99 podcast, your source for the latest tactics, news, battle reports, hobby talk, and general Legion chatter. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Legion 99. I'm Nick, and I'm here with Keegan.
And just Keegan.
Just Keegan. Just Nick and Keegan, or my new name, my Ewok name, Igni Glimerick.
Igni Glimerick,
introducing for the first time on this podcast.
Nick creating the multiverse of Nicks on Game Uplink with Igni Glimerick.
Yeah, we'll get there. I'm excited. I'm excited for Ewoks. Today is July 9th. Ewoks release in like 11 days, 12 days.
That's close.
I know I can't.
I lost track of time. That's really close.
It is really close.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Legion, man. I played a bunch of games. Yeah. You played at least one game.
I had a infinite number of increases of games over the
that's true.
The last few weeks.
That's more than me.
Good.
That's a higher percentage than me, right?
Yeah. Set expectations low. That's my motto, I guess.
I usually play on Thursdays, and then lately I've been like finding my way out like once a week, another day. Like I met up with Mike earlier last week on Monday. We got a game in. It was a really fun game. We'll talk about it, I guess. I can talk about that one.
Yeah.
I just finished up if I seem tired or look exhausted, I just finished up I did a store championship in Barnegat, New Jersey yesterday at Trotta's Hobbies. It was a lot of fun. 12 players total. So it was a little smaller than Top Deck, but it's also a much smaller venue. Nice and cozy. I really like it. Yeah. Like right on the way to the shore. Right on like a main road there. Yeah, at one point, the air conked out for a minute, so it got really hot in there.
Oh boy!
Right in like the start of round 3, so when everybody was getting really sweaty about everything.
Oh jeez!
But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, it came back. It's fine. I ended up playing. We co-judged, so that there was like no issue there. Not even a lot of judge calls anyway. Like it was fine. There were more judge calls in the final game, like the final to decide who got the invite, because we had to do a fourth game. So that's why my day was long. Okay. I left my house at like 7. It was about an hour drive. We set up the tables. I probably could have gotten there a little later because we ended up like sitting there like an hour basically to start. And because it's like a much smaller group of people, it's a lot more straightforward. It's a lot easier. And then I think I got home at like 10:45. So it was a long day, to say the least. And I played all 3 rounds. So played all 3 rounds, hit the buttons on the uplink all 3 rounds, and made judge calls all 3 rounds. But it was a great time. Congrats to Adam, who won the invite there with Anakin 501st.
That is just taken off.
Yeah, man.
Congrats to Adam. Congrats to Dashes for popularizing that.
Right. Everybody's like, "Hey, this is good now." Like,
yeah. But I was part of a conversation yesterday that about arcs being just like incredibly efficient now. So
yeah, they're really good, man. I mean, like I have stories about that because like I think I played against Republic like 2 games, and my nemesis is now Echo Strike teams.
Oh yeah, he's been good for.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But it was terrible, and I hated it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get to that in a second. We don't have much news, so we're gonna kind of not really. Our news is Ewoks are coming. We're gonna talk about
get your pre-orders in.
Love events. There's some events coming up, and then. We've got another 6-Up product of the week to talk through, a little close in-depth look at these new trophies that are flying off the shelves, frankly.
Wow. I know.
Which we're really excited about. And then, like Nick said, we both played some games, so we can actually talk about Legion. Anyone who's been listening or watching on YouTube who's noticed Nick just talking about Legion and me smiling and nodding.
You do a good job.
Take that up a little bit.
You do a good job. You do your part. It's fine.
I'm a good listener.
I appreciate you coming on to my podcast every 2 weeks and helping me.
I listen so I know how to edit it.
That's right.
I mentioned YouTube. We should probably mention again. I think this is in the contract that we didn't actually sign, but we kind of like shook hands on. Legion 99, a gleeful member of the Fifth Trooper Network.
Oh
yeah. Where you can find all sorts of other podcasts, incredibly emotionally inciting tier lists. Apparently, I heard there was drama this week over a Rebel tier list. So if you're into that, check out Fifth Trooper blogs.
I mean, I don't agree with all of it.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but
I'm not saying it's, but
yeah. I didn't even read it. I didn't participate in any conversations, and I still caught shade for my past association with Jin. People assumed I was part of the mob rising up in defense of Jin.
Do we want to hear about Jin? Because I can talk about Jin.
Yeah, we're going to save that for our later segment. So we're gonna tangentially hit these hit whatever this week's drama is on tier lists. And then we'll talk about our games because I played a Cody ISP list. Nick played against the Cody ISP list and a bunch of ISPs.
Double the ISPs, double the fun.
There it is. And Nick was playing a list. We were talking before the show, and I basically realized that this bastard ran a Keegan list before I had a chance to.
I mean, he did pretty well. All things considered, I'll complain about Jin a little bit. And I'll probably complain about Ahsoka a little bit. I will never complain about Sabine. Sabine's always a good time.
Yeah, as long as you don't count on explosions to do anything. Other than
you just but like when you're playing against like Courage 1 Core and you just like blast them and now they can't do anything. They're just sitting there. Yeah. Okay, we're like that's the plan.
Yeah,
but.
All right. Anyways, that's what we're going to dive into today for anyone who listens to this section to decide whether they are going to keep listening.
No, keep listening. They stay for a good time. We're all here. It's fun.
All right. So events, what do we get? We get real quick hit. I think it's sold out again. Or they opened up more tickets. It's almost sold out. LSO. If you got next,
if you can get there, they'll probably have a spot for you to play.
And there's a World's Invite. It's a wonderful location.
Well, it's an official World qualifier. Actually,
it is an official World qualifier.
So it's like the whole deal. If somebody wins an Ewok card and they don't want it, you can send it my way. Just kidding.
I went last year. Great location, great team that puts it together, and highly recommend if you can. I know there's what's really cool. I'm watching Game Uplink. We've got these big events, and like for the last few years, and even before the pandemic, there'd be these big event weekends, and we wouldn't hear about much else going on. Every so often, we'd have like Memorial Day weekend where we've got Bay Area Open and Rocky Mountain and a couple of others where there's this intersection. But I'm noticing this real surge of there's LSO, but there's also at least 2 or 3 other world qualifiers that I know about going on around the country.
Like Sword Championship world qualifiers.
Like Sword Championships, yeah. So and it's really cool to see this many events going on. So check out your local scenes. Send us a note if you want us to talk about something going on. But there's a lot of Legion going on, which is cool.
Yep.
Looking a little further out, I've got one in November to talk about. And did you have another one before then to talk about?
Not for sure.
Okay.
I'll likely have something, November, but I don't know yet.
Okay, cool. We confirmed there's a Game Uplink event up, but in November, Veterans Day weekend, I think that's like November 11th, we are going to have a 32-person store championship, quote unquote, event. We've got 2 store championship kits. We're going to host it at Guild House here in San Jose. We did lock in, like I said, 32 players. We'll have the tables and everything set up. It's a wonderful, cool venue, really built around gaming and just a great vibe. Let's see. We're going to do 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to do probably like the 5-round model and set it up for the top table. We'll have 2 invites, so there's not going to be any like goofiness around 5 rounds of Swiss and then top table, and then it goes anywhere. So anyway, that's how we're going to set that up. Sign up on the Game Uplink now to start kind of reserving your spot. We're going to get the ticket sales available soon. And I can promise you, this is going to be something, in addition to the 2 store championship kits, this is going to be something that is some of the best prize support of these events. San Jose, our San Jose community is 6UP's backyard, and this is personal to us. So we're going to go all out.
Boom.
In addition to our normal tournament kit and support, which we'll talk about the trophies again a little bit later. Drake and I are coming up with all sorts of cool stuff to just pump into this prize pool. So
awesome.
Look for that on Game Uplink. Reach out to me or Ricky Rigatoni, Tori on his Ricky Rigatoni on the Discord, but Tori is his name, his lead organizer. And if you have any questions, and mark your calendars, it's going to be a good one in November.
Awesome.
Do you want to talk about something going on in December?
PAX Unplugged. So starting to talk to like the organizers a bit. We're obviously doing PAX again, big tournament like we did last year. As of right now, expect the same format. Right? Yeah, it's December 1st through the 3rd. So cool. Same weekend it was last year. As of today, still saying it's going to be the same format. It'll be Saturday, Sunday, 5-round Swiss. Don't know about a player cap at this point. I'll probably try and be as flexible as I can to accommodate as many people as I can. I'd like to. I'm hoping to get some official support, but we're not sure yet. So that's all up in the air. We don't know. As soon as I know, you'll know. Why I'm talking about PAX now with so little details. Badges probably go on sale very soon. They went on sale July 14th last year. Expecting a similar type deal. So probably this week or next week before we record again is my guess.
Nice. Yeah.
Do
they sell out?
Usually the single day Saturdays sell out the first, and then the weekend badges sell out after that. Because a lot of people just go for one day. Because it is a con that if you're not going to play games, you can definitely look at everything over the course of one day. So a lot of people buy the Saturday badge. It's the busiest day. The Sunday one is the cheapest, obviously, but that's kind of standard. I recommend getting the 3-day badge. I also recommend if you're coming and coming for the whole weekend, try and get there for Friday so that you can experience, you can spend a day looking at all the stuff and spending all the money on the board games and everything. It's a really cool convention. There's a lot of good places to eat nearby. It's Philly. It's the safe part of Philly. We've talked about this, so don't be scared.
Yeah.
I'm real excited. You're not.
I'm excited.
You're going to be there, sort of.
I'm going to be there. Yeah. No, I'm going to. There's an intersection of sugar with the. I don't know. I'm losing my metaphor quickly. I'm not able to play in the tournament because there is some very, very dear friends are getting married that weekend. However, they are getting married in the city of Philadelphia.
The city of brotherly love.
City of brotherly love.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I am actually flying out Thursday to be there Friday, Saturday, and then I'm flying back home on Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
So and for the wedding. So I will be grabbing a 3-day pass because I'm going to be staying. Not only are they getting married in Philadelphia, the venue's a little ways away, but their headquarters hotel is 3 blocks from the convention
That's
center.
hilarious.
So,
it's funny timing. It's unfortunate you won't get to play, but it's cool that you're going to be there. It's the next best thing.
Yeah.
So you can bring me my 6UP stuff,
I can. You just
bring it to me like you did last year.
I can do that I can do all that just in time delivery like I do. Yeah. No, I should mention. Yeah. I'll mention that in a second. Yeah. So I'm really excited to be out there. So we'll be there, and hell, I'm coming in. With that timing, I don't know.
Coming in Thursday.
We've always talked about doing. Yeah, I'm coming in Thursday. So we've always talked about doing live recordings or something like this. Maybe we find.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Last year was such it's always confusing because it's I got to bring all the terrain in somehow. I'm trying to work with.
You're busy.
I'm trying to work my way into getting somebody else to bring it in for me. I'm trying to make my connections.
You gotta have your people.
Yeah, well, Top Tech has this giant presence at PAX every year.
Oh,
they really like me right now.
Oh, there you go.
So there's been conversations about the possibility of them trucking in all my stuff for me, which...
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because then I could just roll in Thursday and set up tables while everybody else is unloading trucks. But
that would be very nice.
I spent basically most of Friday putting the tables up. I'm getting faster at it. I'm getting better at it, but it was it's an exhausting undertaking. It didn't help that my promised staff badge wasn't a staff badge until midday Friday. So I could not cut the line. It was quite disappointing. So yeah, we didn't get in there till I didn't get in there until they opened, and it was it's a bummer. But yeah, PAX happening.
It's an awesome event. I'm actually I'm a little sad I'm not going to be able to play, but I'm getting some good events in. I'm going down to Crucible. I'm coming out. We've got the Guildhouse one, and they're big thick silver lining. I'm actually excited. I'm going to get a 3-day badge just because I want to spend time and experience the con a little bit. Like I did. I just did a brief amount of it last year, walking around a little bit. So this will be a hoot. So coming out and plan to see us in Philadelphia in early December.
Yeah. Next up,
all right. I think
that's it. Yeah. Go to events. Go to events. I'm trying to get to Guildhouse. We'll see. I've got a busy September through. I have Nova coming up, and then Crucible. Yep. And then I gotta get ready for PAX. Yeah. And I know Top Deck wants to do another tournament soonish, in the future. Yeah. So it's too many tournaments. It's such a big problem to have. Oh my gosh. But so tournaments, it's gonna be great. I'm very excited. What next?
Well, speaking of all the tournaments and stuff, we've been really delighted. I haven't done this in a little. I lose track. So I know we've talked about these the new Kyber Crystal trophies, and I'm sure I have a more generic name for them on the website. But you showed them off before your last big event. Yep. So our 6-up product of the week, we're gonna hit these again. We do have tournament kits up and running on the store. You get a 16-player tournament. You get 2 trophies and 16 of our token giveaways. So every one of your player gets the token, or every one of your players gets the token giveaway, and you get 2 trophies to do with what you want. And you can customize what goes on the plates. I have finally updated the order form so you can enter all the details that you want really neatly and nicely, and it's easier for you. It's easier for us. And I even recently modified it to add a question, when is your event? So that helps us prioritize orders and make sure that we get things shipped out. So we've seen these before, inspired by everything from Mustafar to Giant's Causeway in Ireland. These bases, the black rock bases, and then with the Kyber crystal coming out of it. Oops, that's not going to sound good on a podcast. But I
have to put a warning
itself,
for people to turn their volume down before that.
Yeah, or we're going to mark it as ASMR. The crystals, you order what color you want. I'll just go through the colors now. We've got this nice white clearish one. We've got this is I think a goldish and a green. Red and blue look good, and then we've got this wonky, super cool. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the video, but it's purple, and it's got these extra metallic sparkle flecks, glitter almost in there. Those are the ones we have available. Also, we're 6-up. If you have a specific color you want, Drake likes a challenge, so email us and he'll play around with different stuff. All of the crystals have this little insert in the bottom, which perfectly fits the light that comes with it. And whenever you order 2 of the trophies at once, which is natural in the 16-person tournament kits, we'll send you an invite. All right, I'm going to do this sound again away from the mic.
Still pretty loud.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah, there's your double dose of ASMR. Order. So the light, you can manually turn the light on. Of course, order any 2 trophies. You get it with the crystal. I don't know how well this is going to show up. It's not really a good backlight. Can you kind of see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Anyways, we've got remotes. You get a remote with it. It's one of these kind of standard. Anytime you get like the LED light things, you got all the different options. So you can choose your color. It can reinforce the color of one of the colored ones. It can give a glow color to this white one, and of course it's got some of the cool like progressively changing color. Drake told me to try to market this as you win a trophy, you put it on your bedside table, and you've got the rotating colors, and it's going to really impress any dates you bring back.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how much I'm going. That is not a guarantee. We are not offering 6-up satisfaction guarantees in your romantic life, but we do think they look pretty cool for everything we do. We do market in, so check those out. More stuff always coming on the way. I want to thank everyone who's ordered in the last couple of months for their patience and understanding. Drake has had he's been dealing with an injury that has really knocked him out a couple of times, and so there've been a little bit of delays. If I haven't reached out to you about a delay on your order and it's been a while, please reach out and contact at 6-Up Supply, and we'll figure out how to make things right. He's churning through. He's doped up on Valium and churning through the current orders right now, but we appreciate all that support. And in the spirit of new stuff coming, and a awkward segue into our next segment about talking about games we've played. I played a game yesterday at a game store at Game Castle in Fremont, and while I was there, I was like, you know what, we're pretty 6-Up is pretty narrowly focused on Legion right now. So if Legion were to just kind of go away, there might be some problems. So I bought a box of Shatterpoint to figure out how this game works.
I can't believe you're the only person on this podcast who bought Shatterpoint stuff. What a awful person you are. I'm glad you're the only one who bought Shatterpoint stuff, because I definitely don't have any Shatterpoint 8 feet away from me. I don't.
Well, mine is 4 feet.
Mine's over there. You can't see it. I hit it.
Yeah, I bought the box and I was like, okay, because I don't have the brain space to have another game, and so I wasn't going to. And then Drake and I were talking, and he was like, you know what, we should see if there's a there. Like, I'm sure it's bigger scale. It means we can print larger things. It means we can do more detail. And I was like, yeah, that's a good reason. And I can, it's a business expense now, so that's good. And I bought this thing, and I looked at my buddy who helped me, who was at the game store with me, and after I bought it, I was like, God damn it, I'm going to end up painting these things, aren't I?
Yes, you will.
The models are really cool, and they had an extra one of the early release Ahsoka, Padawan Ahsoka.
Oh, nice!
So
yeah,
I got that too. So. No promises on timing on that, but anyone who plays Shatterpoint and is like, this could use a 6-Up touch.
Well, now people can send you feedback and be like, this is what we
need.
That's
actually
right.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's the call to action that I thought of before the cast, and I completely forgot.
But you definitely need to paint it, because you need to be able to take nice pictures, sir.
Yeah,
with your stuff.
No, you're right.
Yeah, or you can send it to me when I paint mine. I mean, I don't have it. Never mind.
Yeah,
I don't have.
I can send it to you. I can send it to you, and you can paint them and send them back in the one time you ever paint Shatterpoint models. Yeah. No, we'll see. As I don't know if anyone who's doing really high detail comparison analysis may notice that my hobby table looks a little busier. I actually did. I did some hobbying. I did the most hobbying I've done in a very long time, and that's because I wanted to play Cody, and I decided I didn't want to proxy Rex for Cody, and so I opened up and I assembled Cody, Boyle, and Waxer, and I played gray plastic models. I hate myself for it. It's the first time I've ever done that, but that's as far as I got because I don't have my airbrush yet.
Speaking of hobbying,
yeah. Oh,
I finished
for
this.
our audio listeners,
Like,
you need to pause now and come give us YouTube views.
It's like you can't really get a good shot here. Join our Patreon and you'll get lots of good pictures.
Yeah,
because I posted
what he's showing is the Luke Vader duel.
It was
that looks.
It was a pleasure to paint. Not as much to assemble because resin's terrible and I hate it. But yeah, that's what I did last week. It was a lot of fun.
You just reminded me that my hobbying yesterday, I used a Army Painter plastic glue, which I do not like compared to the other plastic glue I used to use.
I love the brush on Tamiya, the extra thin. That's my go-to.
Oh, I don't know if I've had that.
You should try it. It's like a little pot. It's got a little brush applicator, so like it doesn't like the metal tips can get clogged. Like that does happen. So like the brush on applicator is great. That's what I use. 100% all the time. My store doesn't sell it, so like I go to a different store sometimes, or I buy it on Amazon. But yeah, that's what I did. I'm working. I finished that. I'm working on a table that's long been printed for a while, and like I'm trying to finish that up before the Ewoks come out in like a week and a half. So because I'm going to spend all of my time assembling Ewoks. But you played a game. Did you want to talk about said game?
Yeah, I'll talk about mine first. That sounds good. Let me see. Sorry, I'm ordering. I like the Testers plastic glue applicator. That's the one I had in my old setup, and I just missed it. So while we were talking about it, I just wanted to remember doing that because I forget things a lot if I don't do that.
Makes
right
sense.
Away. So I played. I went out to Gamecast Fremont. Had a good time. Played against one of our locals, Nathan. Great guy. I've been playing Anakin Barks for a very long time. Listeners of the podcast know that. Some of our listeners don't even know that I used to play Jin. Some of our guests didn't even know that I used to play Jin. You had to tell Evan Paul that that was my background.
Yep.
And after, I don't know, Bay Area Open, I needed to play something different. I wanted to play something different. I don't have enough stuff, and I don't have my Ahsoka assembled to play Rebels, so I wanted to do something different. I've been curious. I've always loved the ISP. I've always wanted to love the ISP. I've loved the ISP, and I've always wanted it to love me back. Let's put it that way. And I really was interested in Cody, so I put together a Cody ISP list. I've got Cody. I've got a Clone Commander. I've got R2. I've got 4 core, one of them phase 2s, and then 3 phase 1s. And I've got 2 barks with RPSs. So 10 activations and the ISP. The way that I had it yesterday was I had Hunter on Cody, which I forgot for the entire game.
Adds up.
I had a comms relay on R2. I had 5s on the phase 2. I had Boyle on one of the phase 1s, and I had Z6s on 2 of the phase 1s. RPS on the barks, like I said, and on the ISP, I had the pilot, I had the beam cannon, and I had comms relay. Because the thinking of this is just go all in on crazy fire supports with lots of multiple surging crit options, kind of things. And it was fun. It was a fun list. I was playing against Nathan. He brought a modern day ladies' night, so it was Leia, Sabine, and Ahsoka. Rebel officer, a blend of rebel troopers and rebel commandos, and we had it was a good match. Ahsoka can when she's charged up with dodges and does charge, she can just be a vehicle killer. she one shot a bark that I let get too close, and then I was being silly with my ISP and let it get close and had 2 wounds. I did a terrible job. R2 in this list has one job and one job only, and it's not secret mission. It's stick around and repair that ISP. And I, as I always do whenever I play a new list, I was dumb and I kept moving the ISP forward out of R2's move and repair range. So R2 got 0 repairs off. The ISP was in the middle, dicking around with 2 wounds on it, and Ahsoka
It's
Just a
so
nice little charge in.
fast. The ISP is so fast.
It is.
I forgot how fast.
Yeah, it's insane. I love it. I mean, I love it. I love the speed 3 forward. I love even more the speed 2 strafe. And especially with the change to the rules about going off the board, where like if I'm at a weird pivot angle, I'm not locked in. I can still do a speed 2 strafe and come back onto the board in the right spot. So yeah, it's a fun one. Let's see, overall impressions. I'm not going to do a full battle report because I get bored with those. Overall impressions. Cody is I really like. There's something about Cody that is more cool than I originally thought. Like I thought I was going to end up playing this kind of like a just straightforward setup and gunline list, which I suspected was going to be boring for me. But there's just enough kind of nuances to what Cody does and the setups that I haven't figured out yet that he's interesting to me. Plus, range 4 surging crit with a plan for fire support is freaking insane.
Yep.
I think it's great for the game that he does not have sharpshooter because it made me have to think and work stuff. I think it's jump just gives so much flexibility about where I pop him around and setting those things up. I did not by any means maximize the use of his command cards, but I had a lot of fun with that. On the ISP, I love the idea of the beam cannon, especially with air support in the command deck, to have like a possible just beam the shit out of a out of a round. But a combination of factors, it feels hard to reliably set up actual beam shots. That I think I'm going to switch back to the missile pods for the extra impact for the range 2 to 4.
Yep.
Plus the minimum range 2 does a better job incentivizing me to keep that thing at backed off at range where it needs to be, as opposed to being too aggressive with it and then getting hit by Ahsoka. But I like that. And the other nice thing about the putting the what did I just say? The missiles on there is I'll have the option to gunslinger and split them up and fire support both of those. And with the pilot on there, that's now 2 surging crit fire support attacks, or I just keep it all on one. I just have a really wicked one, but I still have out to range 4. I've got comms relay on there as an option. I may not need it, but it's nice to have as an option to kind of bounce to really stack up my fire support guys. And then finally, Boyle is, man, I heard people saying he's auto include, and I was like, okay, sure. But whenever I hear like that strong of opinions, I'm like a little skeptical. Holy hell, he's good.
So it's like I was talking about it yesterday. We had a lot of clone players yesterday, and it's like if you're not taking 5-0 first, like Boyle is like the reason you're probably not taking 5-0 first, because you for some reason want Boyle and RPSs. And that's not like I'm not a genius. That's just obvious. Like it's so good. Guardian is so good. Like
it is, and he in my head, Guardian 1 was like, it's not much, but it's just kind of when I have there's almost always a unit of phase 1 or phase 2s. Usually it's a phase 1 unit, but
I'm seeing people put him in a phase 2 with Protector. Then he's it's a lot of
that's
points.
What I need to find the points for Protector,
but it's like it's another thing you can do.
It's worth it. I was able to we were playing Intercept. I was able to put my 2 Z6s up on this platform. The leaders were this elevated terrain. The leaders were within range 1 of the middle point and constantly on there. And Boyle's unit just sat completely blocked from line of sight behind, but able to see those guys and just soaked up those hits. Yeah. So I think I'm going to swap them in. So it's the phase 2. I was reluctant because the individual models then would be more expensive to lose. But I think the option of protector, if I can find the points, but even just having the surge naturally.
Yeah, I think if
him,
it's not an exemplar list with Anakin, like I think like it's like the surge is really big because you can't share the clone surge. If you didn't know that, you can't share clone surges for Guardian because it's not attacking or defending.
Oh, you did?
You can't.
Oh, I did not know that.
That's why people are putting him into phase 2. That's why people are putting him into phase 2. So he's got his own surge for Guardian.
That's okay. That confirms it. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nathan, I apologize for the at least 2 attacks that I know that I borrowed a surge from someone else.
You can do it for
Nathan
exemplar though. Like exemplar doesn't specify, so you can do it with exemplar. But
interesting. I didn't recognize that. Okay.
It's a weird thing.
This is why I got
yeah.
It is. Yeah, there's some weird things in the rules. We've talked about that though. But, so I'm a fan. Boyle's going to be in my phase 2. Fives is going to go into phase 1. That's also going to give me 2 Courage 2 units instead of 3 Courage 1s and 1 Courage 3. Although a Courage 3 core is pretty funny to have running around.
It's braver than your commander. It's like
yeah. I found myself at one point kind of hoping he'd kill off the clone commander and Cody because it was getting into the suppression and endgame.
I assume that's why, like, when they released the specialist pack, like the clone commander personnel does not give you extra courage because otherwise, like it would just be it's like silly just to have like Courage 3 core running around. Like it's a little
I think
like with the hostage you can do Courage 4, like hostage 5's phase 2, your Courage 4 core unit, which is hilarious. But bravest of brave.
Yeah, I think I am in part because I kept forgetting it, in part because I think this is useful in the way suppression and objectives works. I think I am going to put lead by example on Cody instead of Hunter. That'll be helpful. I'll play around with whether that sits on him or it sits on the clone commander, but I think that can come in handy on this list. This list, the one glaring problem that it has. Well, there's 2. One, the ISP. I love the thing. It is still, it's still hard to work in any sort of terrain. It gets blind of sight blocked pretty easily. But I guess like if I'm really stretching the new vehicle silhouette rules, maybe it's a little bit better. But anyways. The moving around, like being able to, the table yesterday was great because the elevation pieces of terrain were exactly like just higher than a trooper silhouette, which meant they were just lower than the ISP silhouette. So it could actually move up and down on that stuff, which was nice. But I can't always count on that level of precision in tables, and it still is a little bit wonky finding the shots.
Yeah.
The other glaring problem with this list is I don't have great responses to heavy melee threats and especially force users. The best response I have is make sure that they don't have a chance that they have to stop somewhere on their way in so that then I can just light them up.
Yeah, you gotta catch them in the open.
So those are kind of I don't expect it's a like long-term competitive list. I am going to play it. I'm going to tweak it and play it a little more because it's a fun list. I mean, synchronized offensive on this thing. On a 1 pip, I get 6 orders out. Yep. I think maybe even 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because I get 6. I get the synchronized order, which goes to a vehicle, which then bounces to a trooper. So that's 2. I get direct from Cody, which then bounces to a trooper. That's 4. I get direct from the clone commander to 5s, which then bounces to a trooper. So on a 1 pip, I can completely charge all of my fire supports, and Cody g's an order and the ISP gets an order. Which is pretty nice. So
Cody lists with clone commanders get a lot of orders. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right, I've gone on for a while. That's kind of my thoughts on it. It's fun. I I think when I wear myself out on this, and I need to get a hold of my Rebel cards again, I do want to play Ahsoka because one, I love her as a character. Two, I think I really like kind of the balance space she's in, because I think, and you're going to talk about this, there's some real downsides and risks to her, but she's got some power in her that I want to
I
play
mean,
with.
I still think she's really good, even though like it's been a roller coaster. But yeah, I played a bunch of games. I played a game against Mike earlier this last week, a week ago, just about, and that was pretty fun. I'll talk about that a little bit before I get into the tournament, because that was a little strange. So I've been playing. I've pretty much been playing with Ahsoka like exclusively for like the last like month or so.
Yes.
Trying to find like what works best or what I like best without it. Like Cassian and K2 seem like, and Ahsoka, that seems like the basis where you should start pretty much like any Rebel list right now. So it's like you don't have a lot of flexibility after that. But so I've been trying Commander Luke alongside Ahsoka. So that's been kind of wild and swingy and all over the place. I mean, when you have two bursts of speed force push units that can close, like it's pretty scary. So I played against Mike. He was playing. He's been playing Republic a lot. He was playing Anakin with saber throw, and there's an Echo Strike. There's some Boyle. There's some Clone Core all over the place. I don't think he had any barks or anything like that. No vehicles, but I was playing Luke, Ahsoka, Lando, because I love Lando forever. Lando's Bay, and probably I think it had some vets in there. No, this list had naked rebel troopers, an FD, and like 3 snipers or something like that. We were playing VAPs, and basically I picked one of Mike's VAPs where I was just going to send Luke and Ahsoka, and there was like a large line of sight blocking piece of terrain where I like, moved them 3 times and they were behind it. And I kind of just waited for an opportunity to like burst of speed them to the other side without getting shot up too much. I probably jumped a round too soon. But I was still in a pretty strong position to win. And going into round 6, it was like, this was a very winnable game. And then I overthought it, and I should have activated. I played Son of Skywalker. Luke was engaged with like 2 units. Anakin was within a move, force push Luke off of the VAP.
Yeah.
And I overthought it, and I activated Ahsoka first because Ahsoka had C's. I activated Ahsoka first, and instead of like doing something smart, like I moved, and then I took a standby or something, and I should have just activated Luke, attacked this unit, killed this unit, and hit the VAP. And then, like, if he kills Luke, he kills Luke. Because, like, Luke had walked in, and at one point he got he was full health. Ahsoka had gotten shot. She had taken a bunch of wounds. But then, like, Anakin force pushes Luke, and then he saber throws, and he fire supports 5s. And 5s was only, like, 2 models at that point. So it was, like, it wasn't a huge fire support. But Luke took, like, I think Luke took like all 5 wounds. Like I dodged 1 and he took like 5 wounds or something. It was just like, it was awful. I ended up losing on kill points because I didn't end up hitting his VAP. I'd killed a few squads, but like he had 1 phase 2 that was able to just like run away with like 2 wounds that I couldn't finish. He got most of my strike teams in the end, and one of my rebel trooper squads, and Luke died. So that was, it wasn't quite enough. It was one of those things where like we thought I was going to win, and then like I did something really stupid and I lost. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, like Commander Luke's a lot cheaper than Operative Luke, but he leaves a lot off the table. 6 black dice are really swingy. Like that's it's still really swingy.
Oh yeah.
And Ahsoka's pool isn't very consistent either. That's like my main issue right now is that like Ahsoka's pool, sometimes Ahsoka rolls 2 paint. Like that happens more often than you think. And if you only have like 1 dodge, it's like it's 3, but it's like that's not enough. That's not what you wanted.
Nathan was having trouble with her on not just my game, but on others, on her defensive roles too.
that kind of just happens. I mean, like it's a red save unit and like there's 2 blanks on there. And sometimes you roll like you put her in a position, she gets into melee with like some like clone troopers or something. And like, there's like 2 remaining and like they just aim punch and like you're like, I'm not spending this dodge. I have a surge from Into the Fray. And you roll and you just there's 2 blanks and it's just like, what do you, and that happens twice in a row and now you have 2 wounds left and you're just like, what the heck is happening here? This force user is getting beat up by clone troopers. It doesn't make any sense. Like I didn't kill them when I attacked them the first time. Like I swung a lightsaber at 5 models and I only killed 3. Like, huge bummeroni, but like now they come back and they swing at me twice with fists. I just take 4 wounds. That happened. So that happened to me twice. So I ended up playing in the Trotus tournament. And if you look at Game Uplink, you won't see my name. You'll see my Ewok name, Igni Glimrick. I only had 1 list with me because I packed my models, assuming I wasn't going to get to play, but in case like there was a drop and somebody didn't want to sit around and I'd have models to play. So it was something I planned to play earlier in the week, but I didn't get a game in. I call it Lando's Ladies. Is basically Ladies Night, but with Lando. It's Lando, Jin. I have Jin in this list. Because people will be talking about Jin. And I'm just like, I'm just going to try Jin and see how this goes. So Lando has improv. Jin has her gun, like the reconfigure gun. Prepared supplies, because that is the best upgrade card that any unit like Luke Skywalker or like a nimble user, like, man, that card is so good. So prepared supplies and SA, because she's going to have a dodge a few times. Situational awareness is really good. And then operatives, Ahsoka, because we're still doing the Ahsoka thing. Her normal build for me, push, burst of speed, seize the initiative, and Into the Fray. If there's another, you really want seize the initiative there for order flexibility in these like lists with like 3 or 4 characters. You really need it. And then Sabine, because there's a lot of synergies there. I can't afford Darksaber. She's got prepared supplies, grapple line, and situational awareness as well. I'd really like up close and personal on her, but I think situational awareness is better. Unfortunately, it's boring.
Sorry, I know you just said it. Darksaber or no Darksaber?
No Darksaber. Don't have the points. And then it's like 3 naked rebel troopers.
Yeah, I think SA still sneaks it in over up close.
3 rebel troopers and 3 sniper strike teams, because it's rebels and that's what we do. It was fun. Round 1, I played against my buddy Chris Lewis. I've known him for a very long time. We've actually been playing a lot recently. He's been playing Dark Troopers. He's playing an unconventional double Dark Trooper list. It's a remnant list, and it's 10 units, 12 activations. He doesn't take the frag launchers. He just takes the assault cannons on both darks. It's an officer with improv, a naked shore, a stormtrooper with an HH-12, a naked scout trooper, 2 death troopers with HH-12s as well, and their configuration gun, 2 E-webs, and then the dark troopers. So it's like 10 units, 12 activations. When you see like dark troopers across the table, and then they tell you it's 10 acts, and it's like, or 12 activations, you're just like, okay, like it's rough, like having them go last. So game 1, I infiltrated Jin somewhere where she was behind the line. There was a line of sight blocker from like most angles, but you could get around. Yeah. We ended up getting rapid reinforcements because it was like rapid and Limviz last because he was blue. I couldn't do anything about it. So he got shots on Jin very early. He rapid reinforced the dark trooper so they could move and shoot Jin second. It's not as scary when they don't have the frag launcher because you're still going to have cover. Jin took like 2 or 3 wounds on the first attack, which is not surprising. But the follow-up attacks were like, she just hero saved for like 5 attacks in a row. I took pot shots with like Lando, Sabine, and Jin into the dark troopers, hoping that the surge to crit would amount to a few wounds. It didn't really work that way. They didn't roll like any crits early against the dark troopers. Like even with aims, like the second round, like early Lando had like an aim shoot and like no crits. is what it is. But then like the naked rebel troopers walk up, throw 4 black dice and get 3 crits and two wounds. So what are you going to do? You get them somewhere. So like late round 2, the dark troopers are close enough to Ahsoka where I can just dive Ahsoka into them. I don't even need to burst of speed. So like I dive Ahsoka, the next 4 attacks from Ahsoka. So round 2, 3, 4, and 5, she kills the dark troopers, both units, because he walks the other ones in to punch her, which makes sense. She saved well enough that like she survived. She had like 4 wounds after all was said and done because she got a few times. She almost always like activated and attacked them before any of them activated. So like turn 2, she didn't get hit at all by the dark troopers, and she went in and she killed like 2 models. So there's like 1 left in this 1 unit. And then she activated first round 3 and she punched those, killed those. And the other ones walked in and punched her, but you know, she survived. Jin did die later on in the round. I basically lost everything because like I was a little aggressive with my strike teams, trying to just like chew through all of this like red save Imperial nonsense. So he was able to just like kill strike teams very quickly. I lost a rebel trooper squad. During like near the end of round 3, I just started retreating because we were playing KP. I just started retreating my other 2 rebel troopers back because I was like, if I leave them anywhere near where they can get shot, they're just going to die and I'm not going to have anything for my back KP. So basically the last 2 rounds, it was basically like Lando, Sabine, and Ahsoka trying to like finish off the death troopers and the E-webs. Turn 6, I play Ahsoka's 1 pip. I double move onto a shore trooper to hopefully kill them, and then they're not on the KP. And then I force push like another unit closer to Sabine for her to grapple line to just stop them from moving. Unfortunately, Ahsoka with 9 dice and 3 dodges, she only got 3 paint.
Oof.
Or she got 4 paint total after the dodges, and they rolled 3 blocks. So they did not die. There was one model left. So that was pretty much the game. We played like another activation, and he managed to pull the death trooper, who then punched Sabine to death because Sabine's saves were also not very good in this game. So Sabine couldn't even like grapple line. And then that was definitely the game. It was like, oh, well, there's no point. It's fine. Like I wasn't there to win. Yeah. It was fun. Jin's interesting. So he ends up winning. We eat some pizza. Round 2 comes up, and I play. Who did I play? I played John. He was playing Cody, 2 ISPs, 2 ATRTs, Echo Strike, and 3 a clone commander Cody, 3 clone troopers. I think the phase 2, Boyle phase 2, and then 2 Z6s on phase 1s. I forgot how fast ISPs move, and that missile pod is 1 to 4. So I lost a strike team turn 1.
Yeah,
like
2 to 4.
Or 2 to 4. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 4 is the important part there.
I lost. I thought for some reason I thought it was only range 3. That's on me.
Yeah.
I lost a strike team turn 1. But then I walked Jin up on top of a building near the end of the round, and like he took a pot shot at her and gave her like he took like a couple of pot shots from the laser cannon ATRTs near the end. Yeah. And she was in heavy cover and she had a dodge, so she didn't take any damage. And then she's building her suppression, so this is where it gets fun. Round 2, we were playing intercept, and he only had like 6 possible scoring units, which was kind of not good for him. So round 2, he spends round 2 just shooting at Jin mostly. He took a couple shots at Lando too, and like they were pure shots from Echo and Cody. So like Lando can't even uncanny luck. He just like kept taking wounds. So like round 2, he's at like 4 wounds. I'm like, all right, Lando's just gonna go this way and live here now for the rest of the game. And so near the end, I ended up I get some shots on the clones. And at the end of the round, I just jump Sabine into the middle, like for intercept, because he didn't push anything to the middle. So I'm gonna get that. And I'm like, I'm just gonna explosions next turn and run her away. Like she's just going to go back where she was. So that's what I did. Explosions. And that kind of just pinned his phase 1s, like for the rest of the game. Like they're double suppressed. So I think one or two of them had like 4 suppression, and I can just like chew them up with Jin, Sabine Gunslinger, strike team shots. And that's kind of what happened. It became clear like at the end of round 4 that like he was not going to be able, because I still had all of my other activations and they just started pushing the middle while Lando backed up behind a wall to just capture my back one. And he tried to, he was smart. He tried to like use the ISPs to like block me, but he couldn't really get them far enough. And then if he jumps on top of them now, I just get to move them to the other side. So that's, you know, it was a smart play, but yeah, he just didn't have enough things. And then he didn't ever kill Jin, which kind of probably felt really bad, is my guess. Cause like she must've been shot at least 12 times. A couple fire supports that just like were really bad. Like the 2 fire support shots he took, like, I think it was like round 2 right after the explosions were really bad. They were just like real bad. But so I end up taking that one like 6-2, I think. And so we go into round 3 and I play another Cody list. This one's got a saber tank and 2 barks, Echo strike team, and then like 3 core, 4 core. Maybe there's a clone commander in there. He had an RPS on 1 bark and the twin laser cannon on the other, the twin laser gunner. Link targeting arrays on both. Saber tank had link targeting array, and the twin laser turret and the high energy shells and the veteran clone pilot. It was a really neat armor list. And those units hit really hard. I like forgot how hard barks hit with those heavy weapons.
Oh yeah. Oh, they are incredible. I'm so happy. Yeah. I'm so happy with just the RPS on the bar. Like good. I don't need to fire support them unless I'm really trying to make a point. Yeah.
It was he had a couple clone engineers. It was really just like a support this vehicle list. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna touch that saber tank because we ended up playing moisture evaporators. Because it was my deck. Yeah. We got moisture evaporators. We played major offensive. I placed mine like, you know, on the right side of the table, as far away as possible, behind, like they were behind heavy cover for troopers. Like it would have been a line of sight blocker, but not for the tank. So I started deploy, and he put his VAPs. One of them he put very close to the middle of the board, right behind like the center piece of terrain, which was not a line of sight blocker. It's like this, like it was like the Scarif table. So it's like this little like antenna radar dish thing that I can see over, but grants heavy cover. He put it right on the other side of that. So it was about like range 2.5 from my deployment corner, major offensive, like from my middle deployment corner. And he placed the other one about range 2.5 also from my deployment corner, but like diagonally. And it was on my side of like some shipping containers. And I just looked at that and I was like, okay, Sabine, Ahsoka, and Jin are deploying here, and they're just going to be incredibly aggressive and go after one of these VAPs. And then hopefully Lando and these rebel troopers are ignored long enough that they can get these VAPs done. And that's kind of what happened. Like I just pushed, I got a little aggressive with Jin round 1, a little too aggressive because she ended up dying very quickly. Just, I guess, the life you live when you play Jin. You just play this. If you're not very conservative, she's going to probably die.
Aggressive Jin is dead Jin.
He double moved one of his clone squads onto that VAP. And then I pulled Jin, and I'm like, and I had started her in range 2 pistol configuration because like I knew I was going to be able to get range 2 shots pretty quickly with her. Yeah. So I walked up and I took a shot. I think I got 2 models. I think she rolled 2 crits. So I picked up 2 models, and then one of these barks comes around and it's like the twin laser. He compulse moves. He's got an aim from link targeting array, and he takes another aim, and he gets all 7. I'm just
Oh, geez. Oh, shit. Two aims on those things.
So prepared supplies, dodge, heavy cover. Like we're looking at 4. She actually rolled 2 blocks. I was like, okay, we're okay here. He takes a shot with the other bark later, I think, against her. And she takes like 2 more wounds or something like that. I'm like, all right, she's not long for this world, this game. And I thought he might just like turn the saber at her, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He took the saber towards Lando and took a shot at Lando.
Oh yeah.
Lando took like 3 wounds. I'm like, well, Lando's gonna die this game. This was after Lando moved in, because I placed him like right next to my evaporator so that he could move and touch. But instead of that, I moved him out a bit so that he could shoot those troopers in the middle, and he took another one off. So it was like there was only 2 guys there. So I pushed Sabine and Ahsoka toward his other VAP where it was relatively safe. He sent Echo that way, but Echo didn't like go toward the like onto the VAP, and he sent the one of the, I think it was a phase 2 around that way. So I was just like, okay, you guys are going to go do this. He's going to kill Jin. That's fine. Yeah. I should be able to clean up my VAPs before that saber tank kills everything. Because like Lando's not going to win a fight against a saber tank. Like that's wild. He lost. No. I ended up burning. He's
better than a lot of people think, but he's not that good.
I ended up. This was the only time I used contingencies the whole day. I burned.
Really?
Yeah. It's nice to have. I didn't need it. I did take Ace up his sleeve. One of the games I used it to give Lando an order. I think just to because I needed to activate him. But I used contingencies. I dumped I'm No Jedi, which was hard to do, so that I could take Rebellious, so that I could give Jin an order, because Lando wasn't close enough for Ace up his sleeve. So
Rebellious and contingencies, that's a nice place for that.
I
like that card a lot.
I just kind of played Jin like, this is a piece. I don't think any of these command cards are gonna help me all the time, but situationally they might. So I had her 1 and her 2. It was tough because like I wanted to take her 3, but I was just like, I think
you got such a stack list for
Sabine's 3 is really good when she needs tokens, and Ahsoka needs that free recover to function. Like she really needs to be able to like, and then that gives out more tokens. So you can just give Jin a dodge off that. Sabine gets a dodge to start the round, and Ahsoka gets either 2 dodges or an aim and a dodge. It's a great card. Like, and she has Inspire. Like I have 2 3-pips that give Inspire out. That's really, really solid. But yeah, so I played Rebellious to get Jin in order because I was afraid he was going to 1-pip. And he didn't. I think he played air support. That round, which is air support's like, it's just not very good when you don't have sharpshooter, because I forgot that Cody's not sharpshooter.
100%.
Yeah,
I had that experience. I shot it off of Cody. So
it's okay.
He had the angle for because he was able to jump up and get some eyes on stuff, but it's just okay. It's not.
It's like, I think it's a wash if like the clone commander or Cody shoots it. I think it's a convenience thing. Like who's gonna be better at it? Like this round, like who's gonna have the better shots? I guess, or like it's tough because it's like either you have sharpshooter 1 but you don't have a surge, or you have surge to crit. I think it's still probably almost always better to be used with Cody because of the surge to crit. Like you're rolling 3 dice each time, but who knows? Anyway,
probably.
I get Rebellious off. I shoot those clones. I think I had 2 suppression, so I was just like, all right, we're gonna die. Like there's no point in running away. Like if I do the quick thinking, I get an aim and a dodge. I can maybe survive a shot or 2, and then I can probably kill these clones. So yes, I kill the clones with the aim shot, and I sat there and I told him, because he was a newer player and he hadn't played against Rebel Jet. I'm like, when you activate something at 1 to 2, Jin's gonna, before you do anything, Jin is gonna be able to either move or attack you. I was like, just so you know. So he's like, okay, thank you. So he activated the bark that was range 3 of Jin first, and aim, shot, and compulsed. She survived that one. She took 1 wound. She survived. She's a 5. And then I was able to, when he activated the other bark, I was able to interrupt and shoot. But Jin's dice are bad, so she didn't do any damage. And then she died. So and then Lando also died that turn because the saber tank shot him in the face at range 3, and that's what happens. So Lando's dead, but my VAPs are. I just need these rebel troopers that are on the VAP that was the closest to the saber tank to just survive, because he didn't make a push to my VAPs at all. Round 2, Sabine shot something and hit the VAP. Round 3, Sabine shot something, hit the VAP. Ahsoka went after Echo, and it took 4 attacks to kill Echo. No dodges.
Jeez.
One surge. Just a reliable surge the whole time.
Right, that is a variance.
Oh yeah, but I also in like the second game I played against Echo as well, and like I took a lot of shots at Echo and he saved out, and that's why I just hate Echo. I just hate him.
He can save out.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's not crazy to think he's going to survive one lightsaber attack. 2 of Ahsoka's attacks were terrible. It was like 2 or 3 with Pierce, so it's like, you know, he's still got a full save to like not take damage, but it's not like if you roll 3 dice and you have a surge available, like there's a good chance you might save out of that. But when you roll 5 dice, it's like the odds get worse for you. It's just like it was wild.
And they've got the
I killed him.
Yesterday I've been blanking on the what's the keyword around Pierce?
Impervious.
Impervious, yeah.
It's like
I've lost Echo so many times from just being dumb and forward with him when I should have been that. But like your story is painful, but also rare.
Yeah, I got him turn 6 at about like round 4. He knew like after like and near the end of round 4, I measured from like basically like Cody was the closest thing to one of my VAPs, and I was like. I measured and it was just outside of range 3. So Cody could not hit my VAP. There was no way. I was like, okay. I'm like, so you can't get these VAPs, just so you know. And he's like, I figured. I'm like, he's like, I don't think I can win unless like, I was like, well, if you kill everything, you can win. I'm like, he still had 1 bark running around. But a sneaky rebel trooper ran up out of cover and took a shot and got the wound through. So the bark died.
Oh yeah.
And
barks, I always say my barks, I'm either having a good bark day or a bad bark day. And I know off of the first defense roll whether it's going to be a series of great annoying to my opponent defense rolls.
He had a great bark round, except I just had a lot of sharpshooter Pierce from snipers.
Oh yeah. No, that's
like,
that works.
After the tank killed Lando, it like turned around and started like one-shotting strike teams, just like pick up. I'm like, I'm like, you got it. Pick it up. Like the tank made up its points for sure. But the barks did pretty well, but it was like the troopers, I was just able to just like, just like destroy, and then they didn't have anything to do VAPs.
My barks yesterday, like I one-shot a rebel sniper strike team. I one-shot a rebel trooper unit. So they were doing it, and that's because of the 6 dice off that heavy, like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, against and I went for that. I went for that sniper strike team early because if I didn't, that just destroys them. So, but
it was fun. I mean, I had fun. Jin's neat. I don't know where she fits in like a greater, like in like a larger meta. Like I don't know. I don't know how you.
I want to try the list you gave.
With
like without Lando and with vets. I think.
Okay.
Although Lando's really compelling.
He's neat. It's like the more characters you bring, the more value. And like I said, like I only used like 2 cards out of contingencies the whole game. I mean, round 3, I didn't really have a choice because like he was dead very quickly. But the game was just like wacky. It was like. It's like if he kills, I think Ahsoka got punched by Echo a bunch of times and took like 4 wounds off of that too. That game. Cause like, I mean, like he punched her like 4 times. So it's not like crazy. It was just like, it happens. Just that Echo survived a fight with it's like he almost lived to tell the tale. But I don't think that would have mattered.
Just like in the show.
Okay. No, it was fun. Fun couple weeks of Legion for me. I can't wait for Ewoks. Awesome. I'm
looking forward to them too. I've got I think a basic pre-order in of the order, but I'm looking forward to having them in the mix in the meta. So
I'm wondering how like. I think it's really going to depend for me, like how quickly I can get them on the table is like, how long is it going to take them to get assembled? Cause I think I have I don't think they're going to take me a lot of time to paint. But I do think it'll depend on how like fiddly they are.
Yeah. I get that.
I don't know.
Cool. I think that's our episode today.
That is probably it.
Yeah. We're giving the Rantono a break. It needs some WD-40 or whatever the Star Wars is.
I don't have a lot to rant about right now.
Yeah.
Rant it out.
We're both kind of in good moods, and good mood rants are fun. But
we'll
get that going again. Maybe we'll get a guest back on, some Ewok advocate or something next time.
Ewok advocate, the Ewok explosion hour.
Because I think next time we record is the weekend they release.
Yes. Yeah. I think Scoundrels they haven't gone an episode without talking about Ewoks in like months.
Oh yeah, they got Jay on there.
Joke.
I mean,
well, they didn't even have Jay last week, and they still.
Oh, really? Well, the momentum's there.
They were not marked safe.
Jay's been talking about Ewoks for a year and a half on every episode of Scoundrels.
Right?
It's just habit. They probably blacked out and then finished recording and realized, I guess we did talk about Ewoks just because that's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
But, cool. All right, Nick, have a great week.
You too, man.
As if we're not going to keep talking, listeners, dear listeners, you all have great weeks.
Yes,
great couple of weeks. Reach out to us. I did want to thank. There was a comment on the YouTube video because apparently I wandered off on a tangent about Pokemon trading card games last time. And yes, very good advice not to let my kids get addicted to the booster pack opening. I am going to immediately ignore that advice because I'm using booster packs as
rewards.
one of the incentives on behavior reward charts. So in addition to Shatterpoint, I also grabbed 2 booster packs because they did a good job on their chosen behaviors last week. So yeah, we'll see how much it becomes addictive, how fast, but
it's addicting spending money. And kids have no concept of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to teach them that too. Yeah. There's conversations about how we implement allowances coming up soon. But anyways, thank you for the comments and observations. Keep them coming, both on the YouTube and reach out to us.
Oh yeah, Discord. Sorry about our little snafu 2 weeks ago. Right?
What did we do on that?
God,
I forgot about that. Yeah. Thank you for anyone who's listened this long. Yes, I just did not do proper quality control. I exported what I thought was an MP3 file, and I didn't listen to it, and I just put it up on the feed. So thank you to everyone who gave us feedback on that. Let us know, and thank you for your patience in coming back and downloading, re-downloading. I will be listening, not to the whole thing, but I will be making sure that it's actually there before I put this up. Thanks for remembering that. Yeah, I definitely want to apologize for that.
We did it.
All right.
See you in 2 weeks.
Everyone.